Good afternoon, this is JCG. Sorry. Good afternoon, this is JCG's Dragon's Den presentation, and today we'll be presenting you our ideas. So this is our production company name logo. The JCG stands for Jatin, Chloe and Gervir, and I've tried to merge the three letters together, and the three birds represent me, Gervir and Chloe.
What are they? Tell us about them.
I see a black screen.
Yeah, it's a video, but we're not supposed to say it.
All we need to know is what is your idea. We don't need to know about three individual ideas. We just need to know what is the idea you've chosen to go with.
Oh, I thought you meant for...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
When I said that, I thought you
How
meant...
about this? I'll delete it.
Don't worry about that now. It doesn't matter now.
So I made a group mood board for our idea for our social realism film, and I've attached some pictures to show what may be in our film, and I've also highlighted the individual photos and added why I've added them to our mood board. So for example, I've added a picture of a council estate, and I've said that I've added it to show where it's going to be set, our social realism film.
Okay, so our initial plan ideas are the character, who's called Scott. He's 17 years old and he lives with his parents. The setting will be in West London in a council estate, and it's quite minimalistic in the house. The problems that will be in our short film is that the dad has been made redundant, and the mum cannot speak fluent English, therefore she's not able to work, and they don't have a large financial income. And the pivotal moment will be Scott getting caught stealing, his dad raiding his room, and him eventually explaining everything that's happened to his parents. The overall synopsis planning is our character Scott, who's 17, living with his parents. The family live in West London in a council estate, which is quite neglected. The father gets made redundant and the mother does not speak fluent English. She tries to earn money by sewing. The young boy has a very close relationship with his family and has good moral values. The financial difficulties cause problems and arguments in the family. The son wants to contribute money to the family, so he acts like a thug outside and he steals from people. The young boy keeps adding money to a tin which keeps in the kitchen, so it gets used for anything that the family needs, like bills and food. The father one day sees the young boy stealing from someone in their estate, and he realises why there's been so much more money being added into the tin. There's quite a bit of conflict, but they agree to work harder as a family and sort it all out. The in-depth analysis of the opening. Firstly, the boy is running through a council estate towards his flat. He's just robbed someone in an alleyway. Then we can hear the boy panting heavily as he composes himself near the flat. He doesn't want his parents to suspect anything, so he tries to control himself. He runs around the corner to his flat, takes his hoodie off and puts it in his bag. He walks into his house. It's quite clean but minimalistic. He closes the door quietly. As he steps in the corridor, he can hear his parents arguing because of their money problems. The arguing stops once the door clicks, as they don't want him to suspect anything that's going on. The mother comes out and asks if he wants some food. He goes upstairs and gets change. He then hides the money, and his mum knocks on the door quickly and he hides the money that he's robbed.
So this is a physical timeline which shows pictures from our storyboard, which we have allocated specific times for to show how our opening of our social realism film will play out.
and we just have a look at the story.
So we've handed a copy of our shot list as well to both, and it just shows where we will be filming and the angle, the movement which you might have, and just what's going on in the shot. We've also handed a copy of our script for our social realism film, and that just kind of tells you what's going on in the opening of our social realism film and the dialogue that's being said.
This is photos of us discussing as a group, the storyboard and the scripting. So we sort of just, well, I present the storyboard to Gervit and Chloe, and basically just discussing it, and we're just making our final decisions. For props list, we're going to have a drawstring bag, well, money, laptop, phone, speakers, football, a bed, a wardrobe, deodorant in his cupboards, aftershave, a black hoodie, night trainers, and black jeans.
And this is the photographs of locations. The bedroom, so it's our protagonist's room. The room's very minimalistic and there's not really much in it. It's represented with our character and storyline because the family is struggling financially. The stairs, which is where obviously the protagonist will be making his way to his room. We'll make sure that the actor does not run up the stairs. And the hallway, which is very minimalistic, and you can see that the house does not seem to be very welcoming, and the narrow corridor represents the house is quite small.
The costumes and casting, we've decided to choose myself to act in our social realism film. We've all agreed and we all personally believe that I meet the requirements of playing out a young 17-year-old. We all feel very strongly about my drama skills, and as I believe I'm quite confident myself, I think I'll be able to undertake and execute this role in a very good manner. For the costume, we have chosen to have the majority of the clothing black because it connotes negativity, and in society today, many teenagers are perceived in clothing like that.
This is our health and safety. So filming in bad weather conditions could be quite a high level, and the prevention of this is that if we're filming outside, we should make sure that the equipment does not become wet or damaged. The equipment may not work or is faulty. The level of risk is medium. The prevention would be to test the equipment before it's used to resolve the issue. Otherwise, inform a member so that they can take action. The user of the equipment may not understand the functionality of the camera. The level of risk is medium. We'll have to make sure that the user of the equipment can know how to operate everything well. Filming in public would be low. The camera crew need to be aware of the surroundings to ensure that they do not get hurt. Moreover, if a crew member has to cross the road whilst filming, then we should make sure that we film at sensible times so that there are not that many members of the public around. Disturbing members of staff during filming, which we would think level of risk should be medium. You should check nearby if the filming is causing any disturbance to anyone and use a location where the risk of disturbing someone is relatively low.
So our filming schedule, so we have 2 days to film, and we've decided that the scenes including Scott running through a council estate will be filmed on the first day, as well as filming him entering the house and taking off his shoes. And then on the second day, we will film him walking up the stairs and entering his room, as well as the scene where Scott is in his room and his bag will be filmed. So when his mum knocks on the door and he has to hide away his things that he's stolen. And our editing schedule shows that we're going to take time cutting all of the footage we have into the exact times we need. And then on the second day, we will then use the clips we will finalise any clips which may be added to our final product, and we will also add any necessary special effects. Thanks for listening to our ideas.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start with the feedback. Okay, so I think you guys put a lot of information into your PowerPoint and you've tried to be as clear as you can. A couple of questions then for you. The storyboard talks about someone called Ryan. Who's Ryan?
I noticed that mistake. Our original name was supposed to be Scott, then it was Ryan, and we changed it.
Okay, so you need to make the amendment, make a decision on what is it that you want to go with. I understood your storyline, and I think that's because I've worked on the storyline with you guys in terms of the overall synopsis. I felt with your mood board, you need to be a bit clearer about what is it from that mood board. What are your themes? What are your main themes?
Just like a council estate, stealing, violence.
Okay.
Problems.
Violence, theft, poverty. Okay. In the actual shot-by-shot list and the storyboard, I feel that you haven't really conveyed any of that. Yeah. The reason I don't think you conveyed that is because in your shot-by-shot, we don't actually see him stealing anything. We don't actually see much in terms of the relationship between his parents and him. So we don't really understand that there's a financial struggle at all. I mean, I know that you've got, obviously the house is going to be minimalistic, which is going to show that they're not very wealthy. However, I think we do need to work on establishing a bit of character in there. Whether that is he walks in and he overhears a conversation that's happening between the parents when they're in the kitchen, or, you know, he does actually steal something of somebody and his father does go through his bag and gets it out, and there's that confrontation of why are you stealing, and that's when it comes out. But I feel that at the moment, in your opening, we haven't really established any of that. And in your opening, you need to be thinking about establishing either setting properly or character properly. And I don't think you do either of those. Okay. The title sequence. I know that you said that. What's the title of the film?
Loose change.
Loose Change. Okay, so in your storyboard it shows that the title Loose Change comes up, but you haven't reflected when any of the other titles are coming up. And I think that is important because you need to plan on that. You need to look back at your research tasks to see what the timings of all the titles are, what the actual titles are, and when you need to be putting them in, because that is really important in terms of the marks that you get. Okay, remember you're being assessed on opening piece, which means including titles. You also have a lot of black screens in your storyboard. What are they?
It just goes into a black screen, just so the title screen appears, and then once it goes off, then it goes back to the protagonist one through the council.
Okay. If you think about films and the opening of a film, does it keep going to a black screen in the middle of a sequence? It will just come up on the screen while the action is still taking place. Yeah. So the black screens need to go. Okay. I know you're gonna be filming in the Globe. I just wondered how you planned to do the continuity of. Obviously, he's running through a council estate, but then if you go to the Globe, obviously you have to walk through school gates. How do you plan to?
Well, I think we might have to maybe film in the council estate and record the protagonist running, and then maybe cut it from there, and then we're gonna just have
I think there's an issue of continuity there
yeah,
because you need to think about the process of what you're going to see on the screen. Because if I'm imagining it as you're saying it at the moment, it's running through a council estate somewhere else. I don't know where because you haven't specified. Okay, and then we get to something that very much looks like the entrance of a school, and then you walk into the house. And if you look at the entrance of the house, it's not conventional at all, is it? I'm not saying you can't use the Globe, but you need to think about the continuity of those two scenes where you've got in the house or approaching the house and the council estate. Okay.
I think you could probably do it with if your camera angles are right and stuff like that, you could get it, depending on seeing the person run down the side of the Globe and stuff like that, you could do it, but you just have to be quite clever with, where you're placing your cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think you need to plan for that in quite a lot of detail. Right, mise en scène for the bedroom. And can you just go back to the picture with your location, please? So, I know one of the reasons that you gave for justification is that they're not very well off, but at the same time we need to portray he is a 17-year-old boy. So what are you going to do to make the room look like it belongs to a 17-year-old boy?
All of the props that we've included, we need to put those in the room.
So the props that you had said, mainly, if you go back to your props. So I mean, most of it is what he's wearing. He's got his rucksack, the money, the bed, the wardrobe, a phone. But if you try and imagine it as a bedroom, half of that you're not really going to see as mise en scène because that's his costume. And the rest of it's going to be an empty room, isn't it? So what?
We're also going to add spare clothes on hangers in the back of the shop to show that it's a boy living in the room and he's 17 years old.
Anything else?
Boys, think what you've got in your rooms. I'm not saying you're having as much as that, because you can still have quite minimal, but he might have like a poster on the wall, or he might have kind of things, objects.
Because you get marks for the consideration of mise en scène, okay? So if you haven't done anything to the set to make it look like that boy's house, then you won't really necessarily create that feeling, okay? So I think you need to think about how you're going to set up that room for him. It will involve bringing in props, things like extra clothes that might be chucked on the floor. A football is a good idea to have a football somewhere on the floor, a poster. There might be old magazines, something like that. Maybe a school bag. He obviously goes to school, maybe there's notepads or something. Just the basic things. And the same with the downstairs. When he comes in, you need to make it look a little bit homely. If you think about the entrance of the globe, it's completely empty, isn't it? So again, we think about losing some there. The final point from me was, did you do a filming schedule on there?
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I was writing, I didn't catch it. Right. So when are you filming the bits where he is on Monday from 5 till 7:45?
We plan to film before like Christmas, so it's changed a bit.
Okay. The issues with that are, number one, you need to be supervised when you film the globe. Is that right?
I do.
I won't be staying till 7:45. I'm pretty sure Mr. Biggs won't be staying till 7:45. Why would you start at 5 o'clock? It's very dark. It's 5:10 in the sun. So in terms of lighting, that's going to be a problem for you, because when you film it, you're not going to be able to see very much because it's outside. It's not like you can set up a lighting rig if you've got power. Yeah. So that filming schedule, I think you've tried to condense too much filming in just 2 days. It doesn't work. Yeah. Where is the council estate that you're filming?
It's gonna probably be one of my friends on the stage.
Where is that detailed there?
Pardon?
Where is that detailed there?